So I just found out about this today. I don't know why I didn't know about it sooner, because my buddy Travis Wong was very much involved in this. By the way, hello people, I'm Jaby KOAY, joined by ACHARA KIRK. We're looking at 2.0, Chiti versus Pakshi Rajan. That's Rajinikanth's character versus AKSHAY Kumar's character. This comes from Jam's YouTube channel. I got to be a guest on Jam's YouTube channel in a podcast with Travis. He told me that he worked on this. I didn't know that like all of this was like super public. And so once he told me about it, I shared it all over my social media, and I'm like, I'm gonna react to this now. And I'm super excited to check this out with you guys. So here we go. That's awesome.
Yeah. That's so cool. Very cool. That was nice.
Well, those items are really lightweight.
Yeah. Oh. He's on fire now. What are they gonna do? What?
Gosh, it's been a minute since we watched the movie,
Yeah,
so I'm trying to remember.
I can't remember what it looked like in the final product.
I'm trying to connect everything, but this makes so much sense as, you know, like, because I remember watching it and, like, thinking about the camera work and all that stuff. I'm like, wow, like, they actually, it's been a minute since I've watched it, but in my estimation, it seems like they used a lot of what was done here. Not just the choreography, I mean, also the camera work and all that stuff. It feels very familiar. The timing of the ramping and all that stuff when it goes from slow to fast again. Jimmy Choo is a friend of mine also. Like,
Wait,
I've known him for years.
So Jimmy Choo was playing who?
He was in the dark clothing.
Yeah, because I liked what Jimmy was doing, because he was so committed to being the bad guy. Like, every time he turned, he's like, with his big frown on. I was like, wow, this guy is so committed.
Right. This is how it always goes down. Like, this is what happens with all these epic fight scenes that you see in films nowadays. Everything, pre-viz is such a huge part of action films now, more than ever before. Like, everything is planned out well in advance, so by the time you get to set, you already know exactly what you're getting.
Right.
Because it used to be the kind of thing where you'd figure it out on set. Like Jackie Chan's Drunken Master 2 fight scene, which was, it's widely known as, or widely regarded as one of the best fight scenes of all time. Maybe the best fight scene of all time. That fight took 3 months to do.
Wow.
3 months. Like, can you imagine every single day working on this fight in that location for 3 months? That's a long time. That's a lot of movies are shot within 30 days.
Yeah.
And this is one fight scene, like 10 minutes, 14 minutes of the movie, 3 months, just to do that fight, which obviously was well worth it. But I understand, like, Bollywood does the same thing, or India does the same thing with, like, music videos and stuff like that, where they take a considerable amount of time to get this music video because it's like a movie within a movie, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But now, in order to save time on location, in order to get it right in advance, they do this, which is a lot cheaper. They just figure it all out before they get to set.
But, like, it could take months doing the previs, right?
I think it could take several weeks.
Okay.
Like, it could take up to 6 to 8 weeks to get a previs right, like planning it and getting the shots exactly how you want it and whatnot. I mean, obviously, I have no idea how long this one took. If I'm trying to recall my conversations with Jimmy Choo about it, I think it took like 8 weeks to figure it out. I'm not exactly sure. It's been a long time, so don't quote me on that. But I remember it taking several weeks. Maybe it took months. I have no idea.
Well, yeah, I mean, 8 weeks is 2 months.
Yeah.
So that's a long time. And I mean, the fight choreography itself is pretty intricate. Like, they're doing a lot of different things here.
Right. I think it's awesome India's doing that, where they're reaching out to, like, bring in talent from all over the world to create the best product possible. I would love to watch the ending fight scene to 2.0 again, just to compare the two, just to see it back to back and see what made it into the final cut.
Right.
Because things always change. Things will always be altered when you get there. Where you're like, and the director's like, I want to just do it this kind of way and this kind of way, and that happens all the time. But what makes me happy with this is that it feels recognizable, meaning the talent involved in 2.0 really appreciated what was given to them here. And what you traditionally have found in American cinema, and I feel like it's finally evolving away from this, is that the people who choreographed the fight scene would present the fight and be like, these are the camera angles we're thinking. And the director's like, thanks. And then they go and shoot it their own way, and it's like messy, and you can't really make out the choreography. You can't appreciate it. Whereas here, like, it was shot in such a way so you could see what was going on, and then that was translated into the final picture.
Yeah.
So you could actually appreciate the fight happening.
I think what's really cool about this as well is just the amount of work that's gone into it. Like, I've never seen a previs before, so when I thought about it, I just thought it would be very simple, like, this is just what the choreography is going to look like, guys. But this is everything. Like, they've got angles, they added some effects, they added some epic music. So you really get a sense of, like, what it's supposed to look like in the real thing. And it was actually just really entertaining to watch on its own.
Right. I mean, that's how previses are now. Like, it's at this level. I'm sure initially, I mean, you saw some previs when we went to the thing for Kingsman. You saw what that looked like.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and so, but this is the level that this is the amount of effort that goes into a previs now. They're doing the effort where it's cheaper first, and then translating that on the more expensive platform later on. That stage of shooting. So they're trying to save money here at the later part. So they spend, a little bit more here, a little bit more time here, figuring it all out and whatnot. Like, the boxes help you to figure out where the staging is, what's around in that arena and whatnot.
Yeah.
And using that as this is the wall where they're crashing through it and whatnot,
Then he picks up a metal bar or whatever and hits the other guy.
Right. What's his name? The stunt driver from Baby Driver.
Jeremy.
Jeremy Fry.
Yes.
When I got to talk to him about that whole sequence for Ralph Breaks the Internet. If you guys haven't seen that vlog, it's in the vlogs playlist where I went to talk to Jeremy Fry and a couple of people involved with Ralph Breaks the Internet. But one of the things he mentioned to me with Baby Driver was they planned that out in advance with boxes and whatnot. And so they basically, with a laser pointer, figured out, I don't know how the laser pointer works and all that measurement, but basically they figured out the location in advance and exactly where things were and figured it out and like really practiced it over and over again with an exact replica of the location so that they didn't have to spend time at the location as much. And it was also for safety, with boxes and whatnot. Like what you're seeing with all the effects of the fire and whatever. The thing is, to do those kinds of effects is easier now than it was in former years. Like, computers are so much faster and stronger, more powerful, and the software is a lot easier to use than it formerly was. And so this is sort of expected of you now to be able to provide this level of visualization for what the final product can sort of look like. I mean, it's a lot of work. People, when you watch the final movie, a lot of people don't realize just like how much is involved, you know? Average movie, whatever. It's like, that's why I'm so forgiving. It's like, I know what's involved in this stuff, so I'm like, oh, I want to find reasons to love it every time because I know that it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Be sure to, watch the original video and give that a like if you would. Subscribe to Jam's YouTube channel, Joining All Movement. There will be a link for that as well in the description. And you can also see it beside our face somewhere. I don't know where. And then when we're watching it, I'm on this side. It's right there. Boom. Glad we figured that out. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Go check out ACHARA and the Jabs on the social media, as well as Travis Wong and Jam. They are both on the Instagrams and the YouTubes there. Check out our other reactions, reviews, short films, and vlogs. I'm Jaby KOAY. This is
ACHARA.
Peace out.